Hello friends, it's Goose. I'm finally doing another motorcycle video. I know it's been a while, some of you have complained, but I promise I have a good excuse. This is what it currently looks like outside. I had to trek through this to get out here, by the way. So the last video I filmed was like just after I got the R7 when I was doing all the original mods. I did get some questions on my Instagram about modifications. So if you didn't already watch my original R7 video, make sure that you go see that now. I'm not really gonna reiterate on stuff. I did not show on here, however, the new fairings. So I'm going to add in clips that I took actually months ago at this point. A video that never got finished of me putting the fairings on. So these are the OEM fairings. I do really like how they look, and I did keep them just in case I ever decide to switch back or if anything happens to the custom fairings. But I reached out to Monster Fairings directly, and they told me it would be about 14 to 21 days for production. I had sent in photos because they are custom made. I had a few different references of what I wanted, and I think that they nailed it. After the production, it was another 30 days for shipping. They did offer me expedited shipping, which takes it down to like 2 weeks, but I really didn't need them in a hurry, and it was $150 for the expedited shipping, and on top of the cost of the fairings themselves, I really didn't think that that was going to be necessary. So my first message to them was on September 11th, and I paid the invoice on September 12th. The fairings arrived on my doorstep October 30th. So overall, really didn't take that long, especially with them being custom. I know that it doesn't take as long if you just order ones off of the website. It's probably just like the 30 days. The fitment is slightly off, which is to be expected with any aftermarket parts, so that I knew. But what bothered me is some of the pieces actually came scratched. I don't know if that was a problem with their packaging or what. This feels illegal. But the entire bike is naked. There's only a few fairings left on it. Whatever's black. And all of the old fairings on the floor. They did give me a bolt kit, all black. So let's hope no bolts are missing. I did kind of intend to record taking the fairings off, but oh, it took so long to do. Oh my goodness, just the rear tail took me alone like an hour. It was not fun, but totally worth it. The entire process took 2 people 4 hours to do. I know that they do recommend taking your bike to a shop to do it, but I have all the tools in the space. I felt confident in my abilities. It took forever, but it was all done in one night, and it was perfect. I went on like a Halloween ride the next day, and I have a custom suit which actually matches pretty well. I'll have to add a picture of me if you haven't seen it on my Instagram with the suit. As you have now seen, here is the R7 completely done. I think she's absolutely beautiful. I love, love, love these fairings. They came out really good. I do still have like the original stickers there. I'll probably get rid of that eventually. Not really priority. And I also want to make a custom sticker that's gonna go over this. That'll be the same pink that is on the bike. I think that that'll be a nice touch. That'll add quite a bit to the look. I feel like the camera just doesn't do it justice. Let's see, I've got 876 miles. Not too bad. ABS on there. And I do have a quick shifter installed, which is why you see the QS right there. I got the Yamaha quick shifter, and to be honest, I don't love it. I was told that the Yamaha one is worse, and it probably is. I also have a ZX6R, and the quick shifter on that bike is buttery. It's one of my main complaints when I ride the R7 is that my quick shifter is rather clunky. I find myself not using it that often, but in higher RPMs it's good. It's just in lower RPMs where like the quick shifter still performs super well on the ZX6, it does not on the R7. You need to be high in the RPMs, otherwise it's just like, it's just not as good. But yeah, it's a nice addition. I would say like out of first and second, not great, but every other gear, it's fine. If you are not already following me on Instagram for motorcycles, make sure that you do. It's goose.speed. I'll leave a link in the description. I post more frequently on there about these. I had put up a questions poll on my story asking my followers what are some things that they want to know about this bike, so I'm going to go ahead and read a few of those. We're going to hang out in front of the Supra because the lighting is a little better over here. Somebody asked R7 versus ZX6R, and I just have to say they are two completely different bikes. The R7 is a 2-cylinder, the ZX6 is a 4-cylinder. Aside from that, like different seating positions, I think that the ZX6R is heavier, it is overall bigger, it's a much more aggressive seating position. The R7 I would say is a bit more beginner friendly. I would much rather see somebody who's never rode before walk out with an R7. A ZX6R, I'd be a little nervous. It's a powerful bike. I love the bike. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. The ZX6R I'm talking about. Yeah, two totally different bikes. I'm sure there's plenty more things that I am missing, but if you're a beginner rider, I'm gonna say if you're between those two bikes, definitely go R7. But another one of these questions, can it be a first bike, was what this person said. And it can, but again, if you have no riding experience ever, obviously I'm not the judge. You know, you might be super safe and practice on non-roads. Like I didn't take my bike on the road for like the first month of me owning it. I only rode in neighborhoods, practicing, shifting, starting, stopping, accelerating, stopping quickly, stopping slowly, all the things that are just normal parts of riding. If you have never done any of that, you've never rode a dirt bike, nothing, I'd say an R7 might be a bit much. An R3, maybe, Ninja 400. I learned on a Ninja 400 and I also had dirt bikes growing up for reference. But again, you might just be a lot better of a rider. You might be fine. But an R7 is a nice bike and I would hate to see you drop it or something, you know, versus if you went and you bought a used Ninja 400. It's much less expensive and you won't care as much. I was originally planning on getting a used R7, but it actually was like the same price. It was less than $1,000 difference to get a used one or a brand new one. So I went with the brand new, but it also isn't my first bike, it is my third bike. This is a great question. Is it worth it to upgrade from a Ninja 400 to an R7, or will it just make me regret not getting a 6? Guess he means 600, maybe an R6. First of all, I think R6s are the most overrated bike. I'm not gonna apologize for that, because if you go to a motorcycle dealership, you'll see R6, 20,000 miles on it, and they're trying to sell it like for MSRP. Like, I get that they don't make the bikes anymore. I think that they are fantastic bikes. If Yamaha still made the R6, I would own one. But the fact that people can sell them used and make money off of them, I think is a bit ridiculous for a 600. So great bike, yes, but you would not catch me spending like R1 money for an R6 that's used with an analog. I don't know. That's just me. If you are like obsessed with those bikes, but yeah, I would not get an R6. Anyways, back to this person's question. Is it worth it to upgrade? I would say it depends on your riding style. An R7 could be a fantastic upgrade from your 400, unless you are a highway warrior and you're trying to keep up with your friends on leader bikes. You're gonna be really upset. If that's not your riding style, if you're safe and you are not going felony speeds on the highway, the R7 is an amazing bike. I personally prefer it over my ZX6 for like riding in the metro parks. That's my favorite thing to do. I'll find twisty roads where I can rip it around corners, and I can get lower on that bike. I feel more comfortable on that bike. It seems more agile. It feels like it's lighter, even though I don't even think it is. It just moves easier. So it's really just up to your riding style, what you do. Are you looking to go as fast as possible? Then I would go with the 600. But if you're looking for something that's gonna be amazing for all situations, just not the best at straight line speeding, then I would go with the R7. So hopefully that answers your question. I got the R7 after the 600, and I still take the R7 out quite a lot. So I'll tell you, it's not a boring ride. Cons, anything you don't like. I already talked about the shifter, the quick shifter, but that's just because I'm comparing it to my ZX6R, and maybe it's the fact that I got the Yamaha quick shifter that one is just clunky. Other than that, nothing I can think of. I might get back to you on that, but I really like it. I guess for what it is, I think it's a fantastic bike. Is an R7 close to an R6? No, they're not. I know it's misleading. 7 is higher than 6, but they're not the same, not on the same level. R6 is much faster. How is the riding position / comfort level? I'll let you know, I am 5'9". I can very easily flat foot. My legs are bent on the R7. And it's a less aggressive seating position than my ZX6R, but more than, I had a Ninja 650 before the R7. The 650 is literally up and down, not bent over in the slightest. This R7 is definitely a more aggressive, but it's not uncomfortable. For the like sport bikes, it's better on comfort than a 600 for sure. But I don't really remember how the Ninja 400 is. I think it's more aggressive than the 400. But also like your proportions and everything, your arm lengths are going to take it into account. Like I have long arms being tall, so I probably don't have to lean as much as somebody who is shorter would. How comfortable is it for long to mid distance rides? I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're buying a sport bike with comfort in mind, you're gonna be sorely disappointed. I don't think any sport bike is comfortable for a long distance ride. With the less aggressive seating position, it is a bit more forgiving. I'd say like my ZX6R is probably more uncomfortable on a long ride. But no sport bike is really gonna be comfortable. The seats are just not meant for that. Can you wheelie it yet? Okay, I have been trying. I took it to a parking lot and I tried. I think I got the front wheel up an inch. Like more than I took the weight off of the front ends. Like I actually felt the front end make contact with the road again, but it probably was not more than an inch. Getting the front end up at all feels way more than it actually is. I'll get it one day, maybe this season, but I'm not like all about the wheelies. It just would be cool to know how to do one. But I am trying to do power wheelies on the R7 instead of clutch ups, which is probably putting me at a big disadvantage. I was asked if I would ever consider a leader bike. And all I gotta say is make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Yeah, that'll answer that. This is a great question. Why did you choose the R7? It was my 650 that I was trading in. I want to do track riding this season, and the 650 was just not gonna cut it. That bike is not a track bike. I refused to ride it. It just sat under a cover in the garage, actually. So I was thinking about trading it in versus just selling, because I knew I would get more from that bike doing that, and I was fine with having another bike. The R7 was an awesome option because it's not as, I'm gonna say, unforgivable as the 600s are. Like, I was never planning on tracking my 600. I was fully planning on having a separate bike for that, and the R7 just seemed perfect for me. And after owning it and riding, I still firmly believe that it was the perfect decision for me as a rider. This bike actually gets rode. It does not just sit under a cover collecting dust. If I had to give up one, whether it be the ZX6 or the R7, I would give up the R7, but for what I bought it for, it's perfect. I think that Yamaha bikes are so beautiful looking. I just love all of them. The R6, the R7, the R1s. Beautiful looking bikes, super well made, very reliable engine. Someone asked for the service costs and maintenance, and I have to say I haven't had the bike long enough to really answer that, but I did do the oil change myself and it was not difficult. The next time that I do one, I will film it and post it for you guys that also have R7s and want to do it yourself. Very manageable, not difficult, so long as you have like the tools. Would you recommend the R7 to a daily rider / commuter as well as being fun? Absolutely, absolutely. I love my R7. I'm so glad that I got it. And it would be a great commuter bike, I think, if you're looking for like a sporty commuter bike. Again, it's not for the people who are tearing up the highways at 3 in the morning, trying to go as fast as they can. That's not what the R7 is for. The R7 is for somebody who genuinely enjoys riding, every aspect of riding, and not just going fast in a straight line. Though it can do that depending on your definition of fast. This bike will not get you to 200 miles an hour. I hope you know that. I don't think it could get to 150. If you have questions on all of the mods that I did cover like all of that in my other video, and I realized I didn't do that for the ZX6. I made like a reel, but I didn't do a full YouTube video. So if you guys want to see that as well, let me know in the comments. Because she did not get enough love while recording, I will talk about a few more things. I especially like this, the fact that the mirrors don't stick out crazy far. I remember on the Ninja 400 that these were like actually double the length, so it's nice that they come stock shorter. This is blacked out from Monster Fairings. I won't be keeping that blacked out for the track. And don't call me out, but I never put the frame sliders on. Luckily, I haven't dropped a bike. It helps that I'm so tall. So that wasn't like top priority, but it definitely needs to get put on there, especially for the track. That is all for this video, guys. If you like the motorcycle content and you want more, please just bully me in the comments. I'll see you guys again soon, I promise. It's just difficult with the weather, but I can still do videos in my garage. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.